Hey guys, this is Eliza from Dusk Angel Reads, and today I will be doing my most anticipated releases for the second half of 2018. I'm going to try and do these in publication order, and just a pre-warning, a lot of these are sequels to books that I've already read and loved. Very few of them are actually new releases, but there is a couple in there, but mostly sequels. Okay, first we'll start off with July. Okay, first we have a release coming out on the 26th of July, and that is Record of the Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. This is the third book in the Wayfarers series. The first book is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. These books are actually companion books. This one follows Rosemary Harper, who is a human, and she boards this ship to help as like a secretary or something along those lines. And it's basically her journey on the ship, and she meets a lot of interesting races and a lot of interesting people, and it's a very character-driven book. The second book in the series follows an AI that we do meet in this book, but I'm not sure what the third book follows. I haven't read the synopsis to find out. Next we have a book coming out on the 31st of July, and that is The Darkest Legacy, which is the fourth book in the Darkest Minds trilogy by Alexandra Bracken. The first book is The Darkest Minds. This is a trilogy that is now being extended. I don't know how many books we're going to get, but The Darkest Legacy is the fourth book. So I can't talk much about the fourth book as it is a fourth book and I don't want to spoil anything. But The Darkest Minds is about this girl called Ruby, and she is part of this generation of kids that is called Psi. In this generation, all these kids either turned into Psi, so kids with magical abilities, or they were killed by this virus disease type thing. And all the kids that were turned into Psis get sent off to these concentration camps to try and help them get better because they are dangerous to the world. So this book follows Ruby and how she escapes Thurmond, which is the camp that she is in, and it joins up with this group of other kids. I have read Neverfade, which is the second book, but I'm yet to read In the Afterlight. I'm actually currently rereading The Darkest Minds and Neverfade, so that way I can continue on to the third book in preparation for the fourth book. Okay, now moving on to August. All these books come out on the 7th of August, and the first one I'll talk about is Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J Maas. This is the third book in the DC Icon series. The first book was Wonder Woman Warbringer, and the second book was Batman Nightwalker. These basically follow the story before they become the heroes type thing. So yeah, it's like their background story, and obviously we have Wonder Woman, Batman. Next one will be Catwoman, and each one has a different author. This one's by Leigh Bardugo, this one's by Marie Lu, and the new one will be by Sarah J Maas. Okay, the next book is These Rebel Waves by Sarah Rush. This one is a new fantasy series. Sarah Rush is the author of Snow Like Ashes, and I really enjoyed that trilogy, so when I heard that she's coming out with a new series, I was really interested. I haven't read anything about this one, so I don't know what it's about. I prefer going into my fantasies not knowing anything. So yeah, I haven't read anything about this book, so I can't exactly tell you about what it's about. The next book is Ruin of Stars by Lindsay Miller. This is the second book to Mask of Shadows. So again, I can't talk much about what this one is about as it is the second book in a series. The Mask of Shadows follows this person called Sal or Sol, or I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. And they are a thief on the street, and they want to start stealing from the nobles. And there is a competition to become one of the Queen's royal assassins, and they enter the competition. The next book comes out on the 4th of September, and that is Two Dark Reigns by Kendara Blake, which is the second book to Three Dark Crowns. Basically, in this world, when the Queen needs to step down, she gives birth to triplets. So at a young age, these three queens are split up, and when they come to, I think, 18, they have to basically fight to the death to see who is going to become the new Queen of Fernburn. The next book is coming out on the 11th, and that is As She Descends by Jodi Meadows, the second book to Before She Ignites. Before She Ignites is about this girl called Mira, and she discovers a secret to do with these people that are harming dragons, and she tries to come out about it at a court meeting or something, and she gets arrested and jailed because she's not meant to know about this thing. And it's basically her surviving in this jail and eventually trying to escape. Okay, the next book comes out on the 18th of September, and that is Escaping from Houdini, the third book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, starting with Stalking Jack the Ripper. This is a series all about different people throughout history, and there's one girl called Audrey Rose who is trying to solve these predicaments. So the first book is Stalking Jack the Ripper, and this follows the Jack the Ripper murders. The next one is Hunting Prince Dracula, and that one is about the myth kind of thing that is Dracula and how those murders went about. And then this next one is Escaping from Houdini. Don't think I need to explain it, but I absolutely love these characters. Audrey Rose is an amazing, badass female character. So yeah, I can't wait for the third book in this series. Okay, the next one comes out on the 18th of September, and that is Wildcard by Marie Lu, the second book to Warcross. So Warcross is about this girl called Amika, and Amika is a very skilled hacker. One day during the airing of this like world-aired game called Warcross, she accidentally hacks herself into the game and is seen by millions. She then flees thinking that she is going to be caught and prosecuted for hacking into the game, but instead the owner of the game decides to recruit her to try and discover someone that is trying to ruin his game. Now, moving on to October, we have 3 books that are coming out on the 2nd, so I'll talk about them first. First, we have Muse of Nightmares, which is the second book, Too Strange to Dream Of by Laini Taylor. I don't think I really need to explain myself with this book because I'm pretty sure everyone's at least heard what it's about, but it is about this guy called Laszlo Strange, and he is an orphan, and he is also obsessed with this lost city called Weep, and it's kind of like a Atlantis situation. No one actually knows whether this place really exists because everyone's just kind of forgotten all the information about it, and Laszlo is the only one that has done his research and knows as much as he can. So Laszlo's dream is to one day maybe find the lost city of Weep, but then one day a delegation of people come from Weep to try and collect some scholars to take them back to Weep to try and help them with their problem. I won't talk about the problem as that is spoilers, but it just follows that. And yeah, Muse of Nightmares is the second book to this, and this one ended on like a fucking huge cliffhanger. So we need the second book, like right now. The next book that is coming out on the 2nd is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee, the second book to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. Again, another sequel, so I can't talk about that one too much. However, it is following Felicity. This one follows Monty. Monty and Felicity are brother and sister. So this one, as I said, follows Monty and also Percy, who is his best friend, and Felicity, his sister. Monty and Percy are going off on a grand tour of Europe before Monty has to take over his father's estate, and Felicity comes along as she is meant to be getting dropped off at this school. She is not happy about going to this school as it is like a school for ladies to learn all the proper etiquette and such, but she wants to learn about science and medicine. Monty is this kind of party animal, don't really care about anything person, and he does something stupid and it leads to a lot of fuck ups after that, and then that's what this book follows. It is amazing, it is witty, it is diverse, and I love it, and I can't wait to see Felicity's story, so that's really exciting as I really liked her. The next book is another one that comes out on the 2nd, and that is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This is another one that I don't know much about as I don't like reading synopsises going into fantasy books, but it is a start of a new series by Julie Kagawa. She is the author of the Iron Fae series, and I did read the first book in the Iron Fae series and really enjoyed it, but I've never gotten around to continuing the series, and it is also like a really long series, so it's kind of intimidating. But yeah, this is her new series and I'm keen to read it as I did enjoy that first book in the other series that I read. Okay, the next book is The Devil's Thief by Lisa Max. This is the second book to The Last Magician. Again, another sequel, so I can't talk much about that one. But The Last Magician follows this girl who is basically trained from birth to be a thief of these magical artifacts. So in this world, magic has basically become extinct, and anyone that has magic that comes into Manhattan gets trapped there by this like magical force that's around the city, and they can't escape. So in this one, Esther, the main character, is given the task of going into the past and stealing this book that will hopefully stop the magician and save the future. Okay, now finally onto November. I don't actually have any books for December, so November's the last lot we've got. Both of these books come out on the 6th, and the first one is Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer, the second book to Renegade. So this book is about Nova, who is an anarchist, and Adrian, who is a renegade. So anarchists are kind of the bad guys, and the renegades are the good guys. So Nova is basically after revenge on the renegades because they kind of ruined her life. She's basically trying to ruin them, and in the process she meets Adrian, who is a renegade. The last book also comes out on the 6th, and that is Girl of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nang. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that last name right. I'm probably not. Again, this is another one I don't know much about as I like going into my fantasy not knowing much, but I've seen this book cover going around for literally months and it still doesn't come out for months. So that has definitely made me pretty hyped for this book, and it sounds really good from what I heard ages ago. Like I said, I don't remember what it's about because I haven't recently read a synopsis or anything, but I did hear what it was about ages ago and I remembered it sounded really interesting, but now I don't remember what that was. So yeah, that's all the books I'm anticipating for the second half of 2018. Hopefully I'll be able to get to a fair few of these, as a lot of them are sequels that I'm really keen to get to. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.